Are we good? Hopefully. Let's see. We're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. Wait a minute. Where do I put this? It can go there. Okay. Sup, brothers? It's been way too long since I've actually came on camera, as well as done commentary for a video, but it's because I've been sick and a lot of other things going on, so I just haven't had time. Shut the hell up. Good. So we're back. We have a new setup, new background, black background, and today we are doing quite the tier list. Honestly, I didn't really have an idea for this because I am not gay, nor bi, surprisingly, or none of the above. I know it's very surprising, but I don't really know how to rate the men, but you know, we'll do it. But anyway, we're going to be basing it off of their physical appearance, not their personalities in the game, for an example. And I'm still not 100% better, but I should be fine. But I think we should just kick it off with the first man, the main man himself, Dutch Vanderland. And Dutch, pretty alright guy. I have to admit, pretty alright guy. He takes care of himself to an extent. He yeah, pretty alright guy. I don't really know how I want to rank the characters too much yet, because we have a bunch of tier lists, and honestly I don't know where to even put Dutch Vanderland. So he takes care of himself, yes, but he does deteriorate, I guess. But I think he's an alright enough guy to go into like A or B. So let's go for A. Of course, if anyone is actually watching this, then you all can, of course, give me your opinions on where you think these characters should go. But I guess we should just move on to number 2. I guess we should move on to Sean Maguire. Now, Sean, he's a pretty good-looking guy. Pretty good-looking guy, if I do say so myself. Does he really take care of himself, though? I guess he is the only character to go into the tent with Karen. I guess he is the only character that we see in-game go into the tent, and we can only imagine what happens in there. So, Sean looks like a pretty good... It's B or C, I guess. I guess for Sean, I guess we go B. Pearson! I haven't done that in a long time. Pearson. So for Pearson, I think... I'm going to have to say it, everybody. I think Pearson is... I think he's S tier. because he... Yeah, wait. Did I say S tier? I meant D tier. Did I actually just say S tier? If I did, I meant D tier because he might be the camp cook, but at the same time you never really see him take care of himself all that much. But I guess he is just how he is. He's a pretty mid on the attractiveness level, I guess. D tier. Now Sadie Adler. I feel like I'd have a lot of angry fans come at me if I didn't give her up here E tier. All right, no, I'll judge fairly. Oh, honestly, I don't know what for Sadie Adler. I'd probably have to go in one of the top 3 tiers. A lot of people would say S tier. I know a lot of people would say S tier. I think a lot of people would say S tier because of her assets, but personally I will have to say probably A tier because she stops looking after herself after like the first 2 chapters of the game. So I'd have to say A tier. Oh yeah, if I didn't mention at the beginning, I'm still not well. So, but I'm well enough to do this, which is a good thing. But let's move on to Charles Smith. So Charles Smith is a character that lives off of the land. You know, it's understandable why he doesn't take care of himself as much as some of the other characters on here, but because he's a respectable guy and his features aren't as bad as someone like Pearson, for example, I would probably have to put Charles in either C tier or B tier. Because he has that look where it's like, I will kill you in your sleep, but only if you do something bad. So I'd have to go for either A or B, just because of that look. I will go for C for Charles Smith. Now we've got our first non-Vandal and Gang member. And we have Leviticus Cornwall. Now, the only thing with Cornwall is I don't think people would look at this man and say, I like your personality, I like your looks, let's make a child. I feel like people would see, you have money, I want money, marry me. You know, something like that. I don't think he looks that well, to be honest. I really don't. So I would have to put... I think if anyone deserves to be in E tier, it would be Cornwall. I feel like Cornwall would be in E tier, if anyone was. So Cornwall goes in the E tier, and that's where he'll stay. And now we have Susan Grimshaw. She's a good character. I think she deserves to be about here S tier. She's like the mother of the camp, but at the same time she will not hesitate to blow your head off with a 12 gauge shotgun. So I keep forgetting we're basing this off of looks. For her age, I think she looks decent. And for... yeah, I'd have to say around here, again, for Susan Grimshaw. I will probably go with B tier. Just a step below, like, characters like Dutch and Sadie Adler. Moving on to Abigail Roberts. Again, for her age, very decent. Very, very decent. A lot of the gang members also thought the same. So, for her, she would probably be in the same boat as Sadie Adler, around A tier. And there's nothing more to say. Would she be above Sadie Adler in A tier? Some people would say yes, some people would say no. Personally, I think she would, because she takes care of herself more than Sadie Adler does. So I'll put Abigail a step above Sadie Adler. And now we move on to a character who I actually think deserves the S tier. So, Josiah Trelawney, is probably the only character who I think could go in this level. He cares about where he's living most of the time. He cares about himself, and altogether, good-looking man again for his age, and he just looks like he takes care of himself. So I think if anyone deserves S tier, it would be Josiah Trelawney. Kieran Duffy, the O'Driscoll, or Boy, as some people call him. I think his style isn't that good. He doesn't really look after himself, but that could just be because the Van Dullen gang keep him hostage. So for Kieran, I think I'll go with D tier. I just personally think he deserves D tier. At best D tier. If not, he would be lower. He'd be an E tier. But I feel like Kieran deserves the D tier. I knew this time would come. I knew this time would come. Arthur Morgan, also known as the main character. Arthur, I think, he just looks like the typical dude for his age, 36, or, yeah. I just feel like he is... You typically see someone Arthur's age look like Arthur. Not in today's world, of course, but back then I just feel like this is the stereotypical cowboy for the age of 38. So for Arthur, I think I'd have to go in the middle again, so C or B. So I'll go with B tier for Arthur. The middle of B. Karen, another character that people would say are S tier, mainly because of her features. So for Karen, I would have to say she's a drunk. Yes, she is a drunk. She stops looking after herself after chapter 3, and she just becomes a depressed mess. So I feel like Karen would be in either of A or B. I'd probably have to say probably B for Karen. Just probably B for Karen. Yes. Angelo Bronte, the little shit. I shouldn't say that, should I? Angelo Bronte. Uh, Again, another character who does look after himself. He does look after himself. But that could just be because he lives in a city. So, for his age, though, I don't know if he'd be like around Josiah's tier, but I feel like he'd be towards the top. But that could be because he lives in a city and he's one of the richest people. So, of course, he can look after himself. But at the same time, Cornwall also... He's like the big businessman, yet Cornwall does not look as good as someone like Angelo Bronte. So, Angelo... Why do I keep looking to my right? I keep thinking that the webcam's still over there, but it's over here. Angelo Bronte, I'd have to put in B tier. And then... And then here we go with Javier Escuela. Now, Javier... He looks like what you'd expect a Mexican to look like. And he again looks good for his age. I know he's not that old. But for him, I'd probably have to say around A tier. Because, yeah, he does have that mustache, but at the same time, he also does look after himself quite a lot. Meaning his style, his hair, he does look after himself. So I'd have to say A tier for Javier. Like, the very top of A. Just a step below Josiah Trelawney. Because he just looks after himself. He really does. Catherine Braithwaite. She... I guess... Again, considering her age, she does look around... she does look around her age. And I feel like if anyone was going to be below here, it would be Catherine Braithwaite. So I think we'll put Catherine Braithwaite around Cornwall's area. Around Cornwall's area. And then we come to the little vulture, Leopold Scumbag. He... Again, for his age, he does look good. Because I think, I could be wrong, but I do think he is the oldest Vanderlyn Gang member. I think he is in his 60s. And for 60s back then, he does look very, very good. Compared to someone like Hosea. Like, don't get me wrong, Hosea is my favourite character in the game. But Leopold Strauss, for his age, he looks good. He does look very good for his age. So we'll put Leopold Strauss in B tier. And now we have Bill Williamson. Bill Williamson. He a mid character because he doesn't look after himself as much as someone like Trelawney or Dutch or even Sean, but he is a decent character all around, considering he's a drunk. So I'd have to put him in D tier. Sorry, C tier with Charles. So we'll put him there. Oh god. Reverend Swanson. Maybe a C. For Bill. Yeah, I could agree with that. Reverend Swanson. Oh. This is why you don't do videos when you're sick. Just FYI. Reverend Swanson. He's... In Chapter 6, he's changed, of course. He does start looking after himself. He starts taking care of his physical appearance. If we're basing it off of Chapter 6, then he would be around B tier. If we're basing it off of before, he'd probably be like down here. So basing off of Chapter 6, we'll go with B tier because, you know, he starts looking after himself. He's a decent character. The only thing that I could possibly see different is the grey. But all of that, he does start looking after himself in Chapter 6. For Gavin's friend, I don't remember his name. Gavin's friend, I don't remember his name because I always get his name. I always think to call him Melvin. I always think to call him Melvin, but I know Melvin is the name Hosea uses in the mission in Rhodes. So Gavin's friend, either way, his clothing is good. He does look after himself. You know, he's a decent character. His facial features aren't bad. You know, he's just a decent looking character. I feel like he'd go around S tier if we're talking about like towards the beginning. If this is even the guy I'm thinking about, we will put him next to Trelawney in S tier. And here we have John Marston. Now, John, everybody would, again, probably put near the top, but if I was going to put him anywhere, it would be around the same boat as Arthur. Because, you know, he's, for his age, because he's 26 in Red Dead Redemption 2, he doesn't look as good as someone else around his age, such as Abigail. I think Abigail's around John's age, but she looks better than John does for that age. But also, John did get attacked by wolves up in the mountains of Coulter. So I guess that knocked him down a little bit. But we'll stick with B tier for John Marston. Hosea. Hosea is my favourite character for a bunch of reasons. But basing off of physical appearance, Hosea does look his age, but at the same time he doesn't look as good as someone like Leopold Strauss does for his age. So I'd probably put him in C tier, around Bill and Charles. I actually made a joke to somebody that I know about I'm making this tier list, and I said, imagine if Jack Marston's in the tier list, and I started like laughing about it, but I did not actually think that the person who made this tier list would have put Jack in the tier list. I didn't think he'd actually be here. All right, Lenny. So I can't physically vote for Jack on this. I really can't, because so we'll put Jack here. Just because I don't think I can rate him on the tier list. Lenny doesn't look that bad, considering he's like, what, 19, 18? He looks his age. He takes care of himself from what you see in story mode anyway. I feel like Lenny would be up here with this lot, but I think he'd be probably a step above Dutch. I feel like that's a good place for Lenny. And then Mary Beth. Now, I feel like she goes above everybody here, just because she does take care of herself. She looks better than Abigail and Sadie does. I feel like Mary Beth would be S tier. I feel like she would. And now we get to the fun stuff. We get to the fun guy. We get to the good looking Micah Bell. Micah is a weird character because he has that scar that's on his chin. He has his long greasy hair. You know, he looks like a good character. Probably S. No. His eyes. He has beautiful eyes. I feel like that gives him some more points. So I'd probably put him around D tier with everybody else. Yeah, I probably would. Molly O'Shea, she is a character that tries too hard to look good for Dutch, but I feel like if she was going to be anywhere, she'd be, especially for her age, she does not look that good. So I'd probably put her around the middle. You know, quite a mid character, tries too hard. I feel like I'd put her there alongside Leopold Strauss. I'd probably put Strauss at one above her, though, to be honest. Rains Falls. He is, again, a good-looking character for his age. He looks like a pretty decent character. So I would probably put him in C tier. There's nothing really bad about him. He has a good style. He just looks like a good character for the time, of course. And now we go to my favourite sugar plum. We go to Colm O'Driscoll. Considering how old Colm is, I would probably put him around here. Believe it or not, I don't actually know how old Colm O'Driscoll is, because I've never actually, like, took time to actually think about it. So I'd probably put him, if he's older than Hosea, which I think he might be, I would have to put him around here in B tier, because I know he must be the same, around the same age as Dutch, because they have that rivalry. But I'd probably put him in B tier if he is older than Hosea. If he's younger than Hosea, he'd be down here in C tier, below Hosea. But since I don't know his age, we'll put him here anyway, since I don't know his actual age. And then we go to Tilly Jackson. Again, another fairly decent character. And I really think she'd be around S tier, A tier as well. I think she'd be around here. So we'll put her in S tier. Eagle Flies, again, another decently looking character. Especially for the time. So I think I'd put Eagle Flies around B tier. Probably around here in B tier. There's nothing real, like, when he's wearing his warrior or war outfit in the last few missions where you see him, that knocks him down a few points, of course. But when he's in his normal outfits, you know, when he's at the mayor's party, or when you find him in Saint-Denis, he looks pretty decent and pretty good in his normal outfits. So I probably would put him in B tier along with everybody else. And now we go to the last one, Uncle. And Uncle is another decent character for his age, a decent character for the time. The only thing I can really say about Uncle is his lumbago. His lumbago, of course, drops him down a few spaces. So I'd probably put him in B tier. Probably, again, below Strauss. But John, of course, would go around there. I feel like this would be probably the entire tier list. Of course, if someone wants me to redo this live stream and video when it comes out as a video, when I'm not sick, then of course I'll do that. But I just wanted to do a video or a live stream because I've not done one in a very long time. So that's why I wanted to do this. So if anyone wants to see this again, then let me know. But this is how the tier list stands for right now. I've not played the story mode of Red Dead Redemption 2 in a long time. So maybe I'll play the game again and then I'll get a different ranking for everybody. But for right now, this is how it stands. If you want to do me a favour and like the video, it will help me out a lot. And I appreciate it. And let me know if you enjoyed the video. And until next